Hey, welcome back to No Hype Beer Reviews. Unless it's your first time, then welcome. Please consider subscribing. If you do, hit the notification bell, get all the updates, then you'll be all set. Very excited for today's beer, continuing doing a bunch of the Bourbon County variants in a row. So basically, if you're like, why is it already poured? This is capped. If you didn't see my wheat wine one already, I was able to get crowlers of three of the variants a lot cheaper than the bottles cost, so I figured I would just review those. That way I could age or whatever the bottles, because they'll age better in a bottle than a crowler. So yes, here's the crowler I poured it from. It's 2 days old at this point. I'm sure it's fine. It seemed to be sealed fine. I also put in a Ziploc bag and took the air out just to make sure it should be good. When I poured it, there was actually probably about a little over about 2 fingers I had, so it has gone down quite a bit. But again, draft versus bottle, that much I can't speak about. So you probably already know this, but this is the Bourbon County brand Coffee de Olla Stout. Stout aged in bourbon barrels with coffee, cassia bark, which is like cinnamon, orange peel, and panela sugar added. Coffee aromas layered with notes of cinnamon and orange. For the variants, it seems like they're saying 2 years to age them. This one in the Mon Chéri, made with coffee from their friends at Intelligentsia, which they do make very good coffee. 13.5% ABV, and this was bottled on August 7th. So I have never had it's like a Central or South American coffee drink. I've never had it properly. I did a couple days ago kind of make my own just to kind of see these flavors together. So in a big French press, I put, it was actually Peruvian coffee, some orange peel, cinnamon powder, and sugar. Not this kind of sugar, just regular white sugar. It was good. I mean, the cinnamon and sugar obviously were delicious in the coffee. And sometimes, in certain roasts, you get that citrusy note. I didn't put a lot of citrus peel in it, and I didn't get a lot of that taste either. When I had a 5-ounce pour as part of a flight, I didn't get a lot of orange in this one either. So maybe I did brew it the right way. I don't know. But let's get into the actual beer. So like I said, it was about 2 fingers I had when I poured it. Dark mocha. I don't know if it's picking up on the camera, but there's definitely nice legs on there. Yeah, I mean, it looks like Bourbon County. It's black with very dark brown, especially on the outsides. I already explained kind of what the head looked like. Oops, just spilled some on my hand. Pretty excited about that. See about the aroma. For me, I get a ton of cinnamon. Sorry, it's going to drive me crazy. A lot of cinnamon. Good amount of the wood. And I've heard some other people say this, and I agree, especially the guys at 21090. And I keep promoting their videos. They did I should say 6 of the 8 releases. They did a cuvee they released today, which was really rad to see. But anyway, they were talking about how this year they feel like the barrel in these beers is really the star. And based on this aroma, yeah, I get a lot of that cinnamon, but there is an oak wood quality as well for sure. Nice level of roast. There is this added sweetness. It's not surprising that there's sugar in here. Comes across a little bit like brown sugar. I actually don't even know what panela sugar specifically is. A little bit of chocolate specifically with that roast, but just like a generic roast. And then through that roast, you do get some specific coffee. I'll say it again here. I said in a different video, I wish they just brewed the regular coffee stout. I'm glad they didn't do that abomination coffee barley wine, which was horrible. Such a bad beer, bad idea. Not a fan of that at all. Glad it's gone away, at least for this year. But I'm okay that they brew this. I just wish they had the regular coffee and then did this as well. So anyway, so a little bit of coffee, but not as much coffee as I want in the aroma. But that cinnamon's super pleasant. I think I've spoken enough and I'm repeating myself, so time to dive in. Cheers. So I do get more orange in the taste. that I got in the aroma and I got when I did the flight. So when I got my flight, the beers were relatively cold. And this was the first one on the flight. I did drink them like in order because I didn't want to mix the palate up too much. So maybe some of that orange was hidden because it was the first beer I did on the flight. I will say this too, speaking of the orange, when I went up to take that sip, I got orange in the aroma. So there is more orange there than I was thinking. Not as much in the, still one more bottle, Midnight Orange from last year. But definitely is some orange, which is... Some people, in the comments have been talking how they pass on this because of the orange. I'm okay with that, but again, I really liked that from last year. But anyway, let's talk about this beer. In terms of the adjuncts, I'm going to say the coffee, the cinnamon taste are tied for like coming through the most. Then is it the bourbon or the orange? The bourbon's getting lost a little bit because of the adjuncts, in my opinion, anyway. There's a lot of... Okay, so first thing I get hit is the bourbon. Almost like classic Bourbon County, a little sweeter probably because of the sugar. Then it's that coffee, cinnamon. Then, I don't know if it's just because I keep taking sips and it's like compounding. Then I got more orange towards the end. As I'm talking now, cinnamon is not there, but what's left on my tongue is the coffee for sure, the orange for sure. A little dark chocolate. I do like this beer. I like this beer. I'm a couple things are happening in my mind at once. I wish it was a regular coffee. I have liked the regular coffee more. Okay? So I will say I do like the regular coffee more. That being said, I actually quite like this. When I did the flight, wheat wine is a different entity than this and the Moon Cherry. When I did the flight, this one I definitely like better than the Moon Cherry. The orange, for me, isn't distracting. For people who aren't huge fans of orange, based on last year's, I think the orange dies down pretty fast. But coffee can die down pretty fast too. So if you do get a bottle that's not a big orange in your coffee, like that weirds you out, maybe wait a couple months. Both will probably die down, but I think that orange will die down maybe to a level you'd rather have. If you have more than one bottle, I'd drink one now and then, obviously age the other one for a while. But yeah, it's good. So, like I said, though, the bourbon does, because of these adjuncts, does get lost a little bit, but it's pleasant. It's working there. That sugar brings out some of the sweetness of the bourbon. It is, and it reminded me of this from last year too. It does have chocolate, but it's not as much as last year's Midnight Orange. But you get a little bit of like that orange chocolate candy, if there was like a coffee version of that. And again, the cinnamon kind of goes away, and then that's what I'm left with towards the finish and in the finish. But I do like this. I think it's a good beer. I think people are gonna if you can get over the orange in your coffee, because like the cinnamon is pretty common. You go to a lot of coffee shops, and that's one of the things that they put out that you could add to your coffee is cinnamon, nutmeg. Sometimes I see cacao powder. I don't see orange peels, so I don't know in the United States if it's super common. So if you're not off-put by that, I say go all in if you like coffee stouts. If you're a little off-put, maybe challenge yourself, but again, you can always, age it for a little while and hope that orange fades down. But for me, I like this. I'm glad I have a couple bottles of this one, and I'm curious to see what it does with time. Have you had it? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I'm loving the comments. People are definitely participating, which is my favorite part of this, which is super rad. So definitely, if you've had this, what do you think? Were you off put by the orange? You like the orange in there? Where's the level of coffee for you? Do you like that cinnamon? All that kind of stuff. Check me out on Instagram and Untappd. It's No Hype Beer Reviews at both those places. So please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, imbibe. Cheers, everyone.